Hello and welcome to our Firefly reviews. This week we'll be discussing the episode Safe. I'm Paul,
And I'm Dave.
and this episode originally aired November 8th, 2002, attracting 4.68 million viewers. Now, Dave, WWF champion at the time. Any guesses?
I have it, but I just want to be sure I say the right thing. Um,
I'll give you a hint, it's not Bruce.
oh, that helped somewhat. It was Brock. Um,
Brock Lesnar, yeah.
the last name escapes me always. But then, of course, I'm just not an expert wrestler person, so.
And number one movie in America this week. Any guesses?
uh,
November 2002.
I don't think there was that much time from the last week. Would it still be the Santa Claus 2 movie, or has something dethroned it?
It has been dethroned.
Surprising, but nothing that I can specifically think of that would fit within that slot from what I can think of.
It has been dethroned by a little film called 8 Mile.
Um, it makes sense.
And moving. Actually, wait. Have you ever seen 8 Mile?
No,
You haven't? Oh, okay. Well, then.
at least I don't think, unless I have it confused with something else.
It's the Eminem movie.
Yeah, no.
Okay. That answers that. Moving on from there. Number one song in America this week. I'll give you a hint. It was featured in 8 Mile.
Oh, yeah. Then I wouldn't know.
Actually, you absolutely do, David. It's Lose Yourself by Eminem.
Oh,
It's like the one Eminem song everybody knows.
yeah. Most likely, it's just a case of it's most likely buried so far back in my brain with all the other particular earworms that unless I hear it, it's like, oh, I don't know that song. Oh wait, I do. Get out of my head.
You absolutely, like I said, you absolutely do know it.
Man,
It also won an Academy Award for Best Original Song.
not surprising.
It's, it like I said, it's the one that everybody knows. Anyway, this episode is interspersed with flashbacks detailing Simon and River's lives before River was taken away, and Simon was still like a young, studious boy. And I'm going to try to make this make sense, but I don't promise anything.
Meh.
River engages in flights of imagination while correcting his textbooks, and their father encouraging Simon to become a brilliant doctor. These expectations are derailed when River is sent to an elite, although secret, academy. Simon does not hear from her in a while, then becomes concerned when she sends him a letter referring to events which never happened. Their parents are untroubled by River's letter, believing she is just playing games again. Simon, however, believes it to be a coded message asking for help. His father bails Simon out once when he tries to rescue her, but warns his son he will not do it a second time. In the present day, Simon continues to try and diagnose River's conditions and injuries, while Mal demands that they stay out of the way while he conducts business. On arrival at the Blackwater colony of, I'm going to butcher this, Jianjin, Shepherd Book aids Mal and Jane in unloading and penning the cattle and meeting with the Grange brothers. They're disreputable buyers. As they come to an agreement on price, local law enforcement arrives to arrest the clients, and Book is seriously wounded in the ensuing gunfight. Meanwhile, Simon and River join Inaria and Kaylee in town as the women are shopping, although Kaylee contemplates buying something nice for Simon, because, she's very subtle about how she feels about him. The
Yeah.
doctor manages to insult her and her beloved Serenity with his complaints about its predicament, which, I mean, you should never insult Serenity in front of Kaylee.
Yeah. Yeah. I could understand where his mindset was at the time, but again, yeah.
Yeah. And the Tams are left to their own devices. Simon quickly discovers River has wandered off. She finds a maypole dance, and Simon watches his sister enjoy herself for a change. River's ecstatic dancing suddenly falters when Book is shot. But before Simon can react to his sister's distress, he is kidnapped by some men. River follows and is seized as well. Mal and Zoe manage to get Book back to Serenity to stabilize him. When Wash is unable to find Simon to help Book, Mal realizes that Simon and River have probably been taken by local hill folk who kidnap unaware people, especially skilled workers. He makes the decision to abandon the Tams in order to seek urgent medical help off planet. At Anari's assistance, they dock with the Alliance cruiser. Its captain refuses to help until Book tells him to check his identification card, at which point the captain orders immediate assistance. Mal and the rest of the crew wonder what kind of connection with the Alliance Book has to receive such treatment, but a recovering Book dodges Mal's question, stating merely that it's good to be home. The hill folk welcome Simon and his sister. When Simon sees the many sick villagers, he sets to work. Darlie, a village teacher who runs the infirmary, merely suggests that Simon will be in the place he is fated to be. Simon and River share a memory of their childhood, and River despairs of how her plight has taken everything Simon had away from him. When River tells Darlie about the cause of a young mute girl's silence, Darlie realizes that River has an unusual power, but assumes that this means that River is a witch, and therefore must be burnt at the stake. Completely logical. Simon appears.
Because of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's a completely logical witch. Burn him. I mean, of course. Simon appeals to the villagers, but when those efforts fail, he instead takes his place next to his sister, prepared to die with her. At this moment, Serenity swoops over the village, Jane dangling from its hold with a large weapon at the ready, while Mal and Zoe stride in to rescue the Tams. As Serenity leaves the village, Simon asks Mal why he came back from, and Mal explains offhandedly that Simon is part of the crew. But you don't even like me. Simon responds to him, "Why'd you do it? You're on my crew," Mal repeats. "Why are we still talking about this?" So, what did you think of this episode?
This one turned out to be fairly good. Bit more on the Western style of things with the stuff they were carrying, base of the story in most sort of case, but still just with the more explanation into the brother and sister, their previous life, and getting to see a little bit more of River's interactions with particular things. It was definitely interesting to see. But then, of course, as all these episodes decide to get, if you get some of the happy fun times, things are going to go south super fast.
Well, yeah, I mean, that shouldn't be a surprise, though, considering the creative team on the show.
So, but nevertheless, with the fact that Book got shot and actually had the card to actually get decent medical help, it starts to raise some questions.
Yes, how does Book tie to the Alliance? And also, what's up with River? What's her deal? Any ideas?
Is she a mind reader?
Huh?
Is she a mind reader?
A mind reader, eh?
Yeah, it's one of the particular things that they mentioned haphazardly, and it's like, it's a supposed thought, depending on how far they want to go into the cyclically minded things. There are aliens, I'm sure, but see how it goes.
Well, we haven't seen any aliens yet.
No, but still.
Yeah. Well, we'll get some more answers, but we won't get many. I'm gonna warn you right now. Don't expect a whole lot of answers. Well, I mean, you kind of get some in the movie, but that is for another time.
It's a case if they had to wait for a bloody movie. Ugh.
Yes, I quite enjoyed this episode. I thought it was fun seeing, it gives Simon and River more of a spotlight, and I enjoy that. This is fun. I like seeing these characters interact. I like their relationship, and they have good chemistry on screen together.
Oh, and of course, when Simon and River are off the ship for the time, that one of the crew just goes in and searches through all their belongings and whatnot.
I love how Jane goes in and why did we let him stay again?
And then, of course, him playing off after they return, it's drop off all the stuff, get out, get out, get out, get out.
I also love when Mal comes down, he's rescuing the Tams, and he's like, "You see that big guy up there with the gun? He didn't want to be here in the first place. You don't want to piss him off."
Hmm.
It's very good. Alrighty, so if you have nothing else about this episode, Dave, next week we'll be discussing the episode Are Mrs. Reynolds?
Hmm.
Matt learns that he inadvertently married a young woman, and even though he insists she's not married, she is going to take her role as his wife.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's going to be good.
Well, at the very least, she's probably going to have a decent amount of backup with all the other women on the crew.
Well, you're gonna have to wait and see, Dave, because you might not see it all. Might not see everything come.
Hmm.
Alrighty, so I'm gonna send you a quick link in our Discord chat.
Ooh.
Yes. Now I need you to open this document because you and the listeners have a job to do.
Yeah. Huh?
You will see that you have opened a list of Christmas movies there.
Yes, yes.
There is 22 of them selected. Sorry. These
Hmm.
22 I have already selected for my 24 days of Christmas.
Go.
You will get to select a movie, and so will the listeners.
I see. And then just in case of quickly listing it off for the peoples there.
If you have one in mind, you can announce it now. Otherwise, we can do it next week.
Hmm. I have a vague understanding of a decent amount of these particular films.
I tried to pick. I don't want to list them off because I want to keep it a surprise. But I tried to pick a good mix of animation, comedy. There's some more romantic movies, and there's some horror movies.
Because, of course, for some reason, Christmas decided to be the breeding ground for particular horror movies, which
I
you
mean,
think would be recent, but with what's on the list, you'd be surprised.
I.
Though I am surprised that there's one particular movie missing, my good friend.
What movie would that be?
Uh, the wonderful movie known as Die Hard, the best Christmas movie.
Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie. That argument gives me a migraine every time. I will add it to the list if that's your selection, but I oppose it being a
No,
Christmas movie.
no, it's just the case of teasing with you. No worries.
Okay, good, because I hate that. I hate people calling that a Christmas movie. It's a movie that's set
But
at Christmas, but Christmas is not important to the plot.
but I'm thinking, just out of everything that you specifically selected, and just with my thoughts of things, that and mostly it's just I enjoy the film and I want to see it again. I think my choice will be Tokyo Godfathers.
Oh no, Dave, I've already selected that.
Oh, for that. Oh, okay, with one of the selected.
Yeah, you have to pick something that's not on the list.
Okay, not with that. With that one. So I do thank you. It reminds me of one I'll have to go searching for. As for another one. Hmm.
I also have something planned for Christmas Day that's very unique and special, but I can't
Because
give
of
that away.
course.
If you don't have anything in mind, we can do it next week, Dave. That's fine.
Uh, be better because there's a couple thoughts that I have of particular films. The thing is that they would most likely not be great. They would either be the low grade Christmas films that were super cheap to make for kids and other sorts of things like that, or the particular super the popular ones that are played every flipping year and everyone is sick of them aside from Christmas.
I have a bunch of both of those on the list, Dave.
Not just with your particular selection, you kind of had the not as it is the pretty much on the well end. Like I'm thinking pretty much every single one of the name escapes me, but Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer sort of films and other sorts of things on that end.
Oh, I didn't include TV specials. I only included like for the
More
most part,
so full films and other things. I
yeah, for the
see.
most part, these are all theatrical releases, with I think one or two exceptions where I was like, I still want it, so I'm gonna have it on my list. Fuck you. Anyway, next week Dave will announce his pick for the 24 Days of Christmas. Until then, I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.